Good morning, YouTube friends and family. I hope you're having a good day 24 hours after this big storm event that we had go through the United States. Here in South Carolina, in the Greenville area, I don't think it was as bad as what they expected, but we can really be thankful for that. So today, in my video, I'm in my handy dandy house coat, bathrobe, and you'll notice in most of my videos I do have my bathrobe on because I'm recording in my kitchen or in my dining room, and it's a little bit chilly in my house. I live on a slab foundation, so when the weather gets cold and the slab cools down, it's a little more difficult to heat the house. So that's the explanation for my bathrobe. But in today's video, I would like to introduce to you my little dog Holly and give you a little bit of a story of how I came to adopt her and how she became a member of the family. So in 2016, no, I'm looking at my notes. In December of 2018, I'm sitting at home and my grandson pulls up in the driveway and he comes to the door and he asked me to step outside. So I did. I wondered what was up. Well, lo and behold, him and a friend, they worked for the county of Greenville, South Carolina. And they were out on a job taking care of the roads. And it was a rainy day. It was cold. It wasn't an ice storm, but it was pretty close to it, and it was a downpour. And they came into this neighborhood and they saw two dogs all huddled up against a chain link fence in the weeds, and they asked around in the neighborhood if the dogs belonged to them, and he could not find where Holly belonged. So she was just this black, cold, shivering puppy trying to survive in this brutal, cold, wet weather. Well, my grandson has a very soft heart. So he opened up the truck door and Holly jumped in. And she was very excited to be out of the weather. Drew knew that he couldn't keep her because he already had a couple of dogs. And so he headed to Grammy's house. I was a little apprehensive at the time to keep her. But he said, well, Grammy, he said, please just keep her until we can find a place for her, until we can find a home for her. And I remember my words were, well, Drew, you know, if Holly comes into the house, she's going to become part of the family. And that she did. She jumped out of the truck, she introduced herself to me, and she ran straight into the house. So there we have it. Now we have Holly. I did not know how old she was. I knew she was young, but for sure I didn't know exactly how old she was. So she is a timid dog. When I say timid, I started watching her characteristics and looked at her markings, and she reminded me of having some blue heeler in her. She's not 100% blue heeler. She's solid black with a little bit of white here and there. She has a white angel marking on her chest. And so she and I were getting to know one another, but as I said, she was timid, even though she was very happy being in the house. Fortunately, she was housebroken, and she would ask to go outside when she had to use the bathroom. So she and I became friends over the next month, and I'm sitting on my sofa one day, and Holly just stretches out and she rolls up onto her back, and I'm looking at her, and all of a sudden it hits me. Holly has puppies. Holly is pregnant, and that's probably why she was dumped on the side of the road. So, because I've had dogs before, all throughout my life, my parents uh, raised sled dogs. We also had dogs that we showed in the summer. My mom uh, used the dogs that she showed in the summer to breed, and she sold the puppies. So I had a little bit of history there with pregnant dogs. So I took a few blankets and I put them in my stand-up shower just in case she went into labor while I was at work. She would have a nice cozy place to go. I showed her the shower. I left the shower curtain closed 3/4 of the way so that she had just a small opening and it would provide a nest for her. Well, on January 17th of 2019, almost a month to the day that I got her, I woke up in the morning and I looked, and she was in the shower, and she had 9 beautiful, healthy puppies. So what was Grammy gonna do with these puppies? Well, for a little while, I left her in the shower where she was comfortable. I gave her clean bedding, and everybody was fine. Happy, healthy puppies squirming and nursing and doing all the little puppy things. And oh, how I love puppy breath. I think it's just awesome. So we had a gray one. We had a pure white one. We had the others were the other 7 were black and white markings like their mama. So what was I going to do with all these puppies? Well, I have a hallway. When you enter my house through the front door, there's a hallway, and it's about 12 feet long, I would say. Maybe 4.5 feet wide, 12 feet long. So I was able to create a little penned up area. I put a child gate across one entrance, and then the entry door made the other end of the hallway blocked off. Well, we had so much fun with those puppies, let me tell you. It was a daily chore to clean up the puppies, give them clean bedding, make sure Holly was eating. She was a beautiful mama. She took care of the puppies very well. So that was a big surprise to me because I did not expect to have one dog, never mind 9 puppies to come along with it, especially that soon. But it was enjoyable, and the puppies grew up to be, 8 weeks old, and I would take them outside and let them run and play in the yard, and then I'd bring them back in and put them in their little nursery, and then we were able to find loving homes for all of them, which I was very, very fortunate to be able to do that and didn't have to take them to any animal shelter or humane society. So lo and behold, then I have this mama dog who, if I don't get her fixed, no doubt she's going to have puppies again, because that just happens. Mother Nature runs its course, and no matter how careful you are, excuse me, no matter how careful you are, uh, if you do not have your female dog fixed, they will have a surprise litter of puppies for you. So I started doing some research, and this is for all of you who wonder if you can afford to take your dog to the vet, to have them fixed or have their shots and do all the healthcare things that you need to do to be a responsible dog owner. I found out that the animal shelter in our county would do, if you made an appointment, they would do discount surgery. So it did not cost me hardly anything, really pretty much a donation, to take her and have her fixed and get all her shots. And then as time went on, it was just me and Holly. And then I decided to get some chickens. Well, if you've looked at any of my previous videos, you'll see that I had 13 chickens that I hatched from eggs and raised them up in the backyard. There's a chicken coop out there. And I did all the things as a good chicken mama. Well, I noticed that I was trying to decide what kind of a dog Holly was. And I knew, or I thought, that she had some blue heeler in her. But once the chickens were outside in the yard, I was fully convinced that she had blue heeler in her, because she would take the chickens, if they got down away from their pen and their chicken coop, if they went to the opposite end of the yard, Holly would go down to where the chickens were, and she would literally herd them back into the chicken coop. And she would do this for hours if I let her. But it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. But she definitely is a mix of some kind, and somewhere in her bloodline she has blue heeler, and it's evident on the markings of her feet. So Holly now is, let's see, she came to me in 2018, and she was old enough to be pregnant. So I would say she was probably 5 to 6 months old when she came to live here. So now she is, let's see, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So now she's 7.5 years old, and she's very much a big part of my life, and I love her companionship. And she sleeps with me every night. She curls up in a ball at the foot of my bed, and every little sound that she thinks is a danger, she will alert me and let me know. And God bless little Sammy Squirrel that runs around on the top of my fence. She just loves to go out there and chase him off the fence. So this is the story of Holly, and I placed a picture of her on the thumbnail. I hope that you have enjoyed this little chat. It's Monday morning. Like I said, it's 24 hours after the storm. So if you have gotten any enjoyment out of this video, please do me a favor, as I am a new channel. I'm trying to learn how to do this as I go. I'm 68 years old. I'm retired. I've been retired for several years, and I'm hoping that within the next year I'll be monetized, but that's still in the future and a story yet to be told. So please like, subscribe, and share. help my channel to grow. I love y'all. Leave a comment. I'd love to meet y'all. Even if you just watch for a few minutes and this is totally not your thing, please leave a comment so that I can start to build my community. I would love to have followers that comment good, bad, or indifferent on my videos. So y'all have a good day. Stay warm. Let's let the sun thaw the ice. And if you don't have to go out right yet, and you're in South Carolina or any of the states that have gotten all this freezing rain, ice, sleet, please stay safe. May God bless. I love y'all. Have a great day.